Hey, what's up guys, Duck Dempsey, and in this video I'll be explaining about the new Marshal pistol shotgun dual wield incendiary round that was added today in Call of Duty Cold War and in Warzone. Now in this video I'll be exclusively talking about the zombies. I will not be going into Warzone or multiplayer. This video will be strictly talking about how to unlock it in zombies because I'll be giving you tips about what I personally used, some methods that I actually figured out regarding like the disciples, what's actually required from the challenge, as well as what the actual shotgun does in zombies. So let's get right into the video. Now, starting things off, the challenge asks you to, while using pistols, kill 30 disciples that are affecting 5 zombies. And the challenge itself is fairly simple, but it's a more tedious process. So because of that, we will be using either of your choice. I'd recommend the dual wield AMPs or the dual wield Diamatis. I recommend using the task force barrels and largest magazines provided on both of those, and I recommend throughout this thing you are increasing the rarity, increasing the pack-a-punch, and I would recommend using the dead wire modifier since the disciples are weakened to the dead wire modifier. If you have any weapon that has like electric damage, that's what they're weak to, just for future reference. So first things first is what I personally did was stay in the starting room till around round 6, just getting kills and earning points. And then what I did was right at the end of round 6, I'd keep a zombie, and then I'd go and unlock power. Once I'd get power on, I would go and get death perception and either quick revive or juggernog based on whether or not I had armor. So if I had armor, I would go and get quick revive. If I didn't, I'd get juggernog. Then you'd go towards where the sentry turrets are in the minefields and whatnot, and you're going to start getting salvage. Now, if you have tier 4 death perception, the reason why you got that is so that way you get that increased salvage, which I made a video about. If you haven't watched it, I'd highly recommend you go check it out. It's pretty cool. Anyways, once you have that salvage, you can then go to the armory station that's actually in one of the fields, and you'll be able to get your weapon up to blue rarity before you even fight your first disciple. Now what's great about this first disciple, which is the pack-a-punch one, is that this one, as long as you're not killing any of the zombies and focusing solely on the disciple, that'll actually be your first disciplined medal, and this is actually what you're going to be going after throughout this entire challenge. These discipled medals indicate that you killed the disciple while it had been affecting 5 zombies. So as long as you're getting these disciplined medals, you are earning progression towards the Marshal pistol. Another thing you can do is, if you want to, it's a little bit extra, and I personally would recommend you probably not do it. If you want to, you can do the bunny dance Easter egg, which will allow you to get 1 disciple again, but like I said, it's only 1. You're better off progressing throughout the rounds because as you go higher and higher, more and more disciples will continue to spawn. I was getting 4 or 5 disciples per round in the higher rounds, like 30 plus. So I personally recommend you not do this, but it is 1 disciple if you really want it, where at the 3rd wave of zombies, you can get a disciple to spawn in. So as I was playing and getting this, I started understanding how these disciples really worked and how you can kind of calculate when the time is right to go ahead and kill them. So as disciples spawn in, they'll go around and obviously, start turning the zombies into more powerful zombies. What you can tell is when you can really decide whether or not they're ready to kill. So what you can do is if you notice they're going around towards the zombies, you know that they haven't infected 5 or more yet. But when they start to distance themselves from the player, you'll literally see them on the minimap, or you can look around on like buildings and like far out. You'll literally see them just floating idly, just pretty much staring at you, because what they're doing is they're just standing there watching you to see what the zombies are doing, basically. And what that can ensure you to do is that you can go ahead and kill that disciple, because that means it's infected the 5, and then as long as you're focusing directly on that disciple, you'll be able to kill them no problem, and you'll get your disciplined medals. And throughout this whole process, what you're doing is just training around areas. Like I personally recommend going to where the trials are, and you just circle around that tank a bunch of times until you're like amassing a huge horde. And then what'll happen is the disciples will just come up, they'll infect the zombies, and then they'll leave, and then you can just target the disciples, and then boom. So you've got your Marshal unlocked. The first thing you'll want to do before you even equip it and load up into a match is you're going to want to make your own weapon mod for it. Now, this may sound weird to be like, I don't even have any attachments. I don't have any camos. I literally just unlocked it and it's level 1. How do I equip a mod for it? All you're doing is you're just putting on a sticker or a charm, and then you're just making a mod for it. And I'll go in a little bit of detail into it, why, later. For your own good, once you unlock it, make just a basic blueprint with a charm or sticker, or both, doesn't matter. So you load it in with it. Yeah, I'll be showing you the inspect and as well as like how much damage it does and whatnot. What you're going to be doing is, again, same strategy kind of as you were with the unlocking it. I just kind of was just going around getting points and whatnot. It's pretty easy. A good strategy with it is it's really good up close, and that's fairly obvious. It's a shotgun. But what you're going to be doing is using it almost at once, kind of, because what I've noticed with this is it's not really a shotgun that you can use in just one shot very well. This Marshal shotgun is based almost more where you're constantly firing it and then reloading it, and then that'll boost its effectiveness. So the reason why I told you to make this blueprint is because what you can do is, for those of you who don't know, then this can go for any DLC weapon or any weapon in general that you don't have leveled up very well. If you want to level it up in zombies, all you've got to do is, once you have enough salvage, common salvage, it's only 250. You go to the armory station where you'd increase your rarity of your weapon, and on that same tab, at the very right, you'll see that little dice and then the little rotating arrow. That allows you to re-roll attachments, and based on the rarity, it'll give you more attachments. Once you have that thing blue rarity from getting all the salvage through the minefields and whatnot, you will be able to have pretty much all the attachments other than dual wield before you even have the thing like leveled up at all. You can have the incendiary rounds, the reticle, and the barrel already. It's stupid the way they made the game, but apparently for all pistols, like as far as I'm still aware of, it's been since release, you cannot get dual wield through the armory. You have to get it out of the box, or you have to unlock it yourself and make a mod for it. Now, the main reason why I told you guys to make just a basic blueprint of the base variant is in case you don't like the incendiary shotgun shells. Now, you may be saying, well, of course I'm going to like them. They're going to be awesome, right? They increase your damage by 20%. Why would I not like them? The reason why is because compared to the other previous games where there were incendiary shells, for example, Black Ops 4, those incendiary shells were insane in that mode. They would increase the damage like crazy. How the incendiary shells are in Cold War is it's almost like a shatter blast effect where it'll knock down the zombies, but it'll hardly damage them at all. You can see in the gameplay, I'm literally killing 1, maybe 2 zombies at that with the incendiary shells, and then it's knocking all of them back and dealing like 6 damage, 12 damage, really nothing at all. This shotgun with the incendiary shells is honestly built for a support class, and that the more you shoot it, the more better it gets with the incendiary shells. But the only point of having incendiary shells on that shotgun is for having it as a secondary and knocking down zombies whenever you get cornered or you're just trying to knock them down so you can run and do something else. So yeah, the incendiary shells are not really that good unless you know you're just going to be keeping it as a backup weapon in case you're getting cornered because you're leveling up a different gun. But that's exactly why I told you guys to make that base variant, because then if you don't like it, all you got to do is swap it back to that one variant of that basic blueprint, the base variant, and then that away you'll actually be able to go back to killing, because through my gameplay, I was getting a lot less kills with the incendiary rounds than I was with the base variant. The base variant itself is actually pretty good. It plays like most of the other shotguns like the Gallo, Hauer, even Street Sweeper a little bit. I would highly recommend, if you're just trying to level this thing up, avoid using the incendiary shells. But once you have the thing maxed, you got your dual wield, you have the incendiary rounds, the barrels and whatnot. Make 2 classes, make one for the incendiary rounds and one with the basic rounds. So that way, if you want to have it where you just have the strong basic versions, you have that. If you're leveling up a different gun, and then let's say you get cornered or something, you have the incendiary rounds as your backup support. So all in all, to conclude, the Marshal itself is actually not that bad. It has its uses, and for higher rounds, I can definitely see this being very viable, but only with the base variant of it. Now, with the incendiary shells, it provides for a great support. and it also provides great damage against the specials and elites. It does a lot more damage against those than it does any other zombie, because it will kind of do almost like a stun effect if you even see that, because it's actually dealing so much more damage, almost like the base variant, than it is like to the rest of the zombies, because the rest of the zombies it's literally just knocking down the entire horde while it's actually killing like 2 or 3. But other than that, that's pretty much it, guys. Thank you guys so much for watching. I hope this guide informed you about the new Marshal shotgun and how it's got its unique features and whatnot with the dual wield and, the incendiary rounds and whatnot. But thank you guys for watching. Have a great rest of your day. See ya.